Police officers, what is the stupidest thing you have ever seen or heard from a criminal? Yes, these are my pants, but these are not my pockets. I'm not making this up. Seriously. I had just started working then, and I couldn't come up with a witty response. I just laughed and continued the search. I think he wanted to say that everything else in the pockets, cigarettes, ID, lighter, keys, was his, but the baggie with drugs wasn't his. But who am I to draw conclusions? The guy said these weren't his pockets. Court case for driving under the influence while intoxicated. The defendant decided to represent herself. During the hearing, she tried to present evidence, but the prosecutor immediately shut her down. The judge, perhaps taking pity on her pathetic attempts to defend herself, asked her to look at the evidence. It was a receipt from a bar she had left right before I stopped her. The receipt showed 2 large margaritas. Her defense was, I couldn't have been drunk. I only had 2 margaritas. The woman was found guilty. For reference, I originally stopped her because she drove off the road into an embankment trying to get to McDonald's. My brother works as a cop in Detroit. He told his story. He gets a call. Someone's car was stolen. They arrive, and it turns out that first someone argued with her about the wheels, and then another group stole the car itself. They dragged it 2 blocks without wheels, leaving perfect grooves right up to their garage. Their defense, but we didn't steal the wheels. Detroit, if you're going to rob, then go all the way. My buddy is a cop. The other day he stopped a drunk driver. The guy took off and hit the gas. The chase continued all the way to his house. The drunk guy finally stopped and said, well, I made it home, everything's fine, you can leave now. Then he argued and yelled. It was 3 in the morning in the yard. The offender's family woke up. His son came out on the porch and shouted, damn it, Dad, we told you to quit this. I'm not a cop, but I work in prison. 2 inmates got into a fight in the corridor. I was closest. Out of the corner of my eye, I managed to see only the beginning of the scuffle. In the report, I wrote, both inmates fell to the floor. Name ended up on top of other name. Later, the sergeant was reading my report to one of the participants. According to the rules, an inmate could dispute any inaccuracies. Sergeant, do you want to dispute anything from the report? Inmate, yes. We didn't fall. I grabbed him and threw him to the floor. What could have been counted as an ordinary fight turned into a charge of assault. My grandfather was a policeman. Once, when he was refueling his patrol car in his police uniform, a guy with a knife came up to him and tried to rob him. Spoiler, it didn't work. For those who didn't understand, Grandpa just pulled out his gun and arrested him. The scene looked something like this. Wallet out. What? Give me your wallet. Are you sure you want to do this? Yeah, come on already. All right. Pulls out gun. You're under arrest. Hey, guy in shock. Once I detained a guy who was jabbing a needle in his arm in the family restroom at a shopping mall. I walk in and he's there with a needle in his vein. We stare at each other for a couple seconds. Then he says, do I have diabetes? I put handcuffs on him, leave my partner to do the search, read him his rights, and the guy had 87 drug convictions. I finished the speech. Do you understand your rights? He answers while high, don't you want to go get lunch? And by the way, that's not the strangest reaction I've gotten to reading someone their rights. Not a cop, but I used to read police reports frequently at work. My favorite case was a woman who refused to take a breathalyzer test with the words, I won't blow into that thing, but I can blow you in the car. I stopped a suspicious guy near an area where a bunch of cars had been broken into, asked a few questions, and conducted a search, found a bunch of phones, wallets, and cards. He claimed that all the cards belonged to him, and all 13 identities on the ID cards also belonged to him. He actually went to court with this and claimed he was not guilty. I'm a dispatcher. A guy calls and says, I'm with my ex. She's pregnant by me. Well, yeah, we have a no contact order, but we want to eat together. Please call the judge and cancel the order. We'll go to a restaurant. The officer next to my partner, who was taking the call, asks, and where is he now? Let's go to the judge right to him. The guy fell for it. I'm not a cop, but I was a witness and gave testimony in court. I saw how a girl in a car crashed into a tree doing a few somersaults. She was obviously drunk. About 10 minutes later, the firefighters arrived. Gas was leaking from the car. Then her husband came running, started calming her down. Then her mother arrived in her own car and finally the police. She claimed that she wasn't driving, even though there was no one else in the car. A year later in court, she claimed that her mother was driving, the same one who arrived later in another car. She also punched a cop in the face and got pepper sprayed in response. But that's another story. In general, she was found guilty.